dumb. Right, let me tell y'all a little story about persistence and how to build up discipline and evidence for yourself so that you actually believe you can do something and get into momentum of actually doing shit. So when I was younger, I was a crazy little boy. I was excited about music, I had a fashion brand, and I would go absolutely nuts for those things. I would work on that shit for days. I remember I had a fashion show where for a month straight, every morning I worked from 9 till 10 in the evening. I was just super fucking determined. Then I grew up as a young adult and I took some time to just sit back, not always go to the next project, learn how to rest, learn how to nurture friendships. Now, in the past years, I've been in a phase where I'm building up that crazy work ethic again. I had to teach myself to push my limits again. I sort of lost touch with what that was like. Like every time I would sort of hit that boundary, I would rather just step back instead of step further. And I remember I did one project where I fully allowed myself to fully push those limits again. It was for a music video, and I worked on that shit for months. And that was like the first piece of evidence where I was like, oh shit, I can really put everything into something again. And then now I'm in an amazing phase with an accountability partner, a friend of mine, where every morning I work on music for 3 hours. There's like a morning routine attached to it. There's like a UF video here that will be posted every day. And what I realized these past couple of weeks that we've been doing this is that I'm training that muscle again, strengthening that muscle of pushing my limits. And I'm really doing that because I'm waking up at 7:30, going outside, going to the studio, working on music for three hours at least, often more. Then I'm posting these videos, caring for my body, making good food, and it's sort of like this last piece of the puzzle where I can stay consistent for like a longer period of time, and it really reminds me of that earlier self. And I was just reflecting on why couldn't I tap into this energy of pushing my limits before in these past years, when I sort of lost touch with that. And I think it's because I didn't have the evidence. Now, especially with the accountability part, I'm stacking this evidence of again showing up for the music. It's hard, but I'm doing it. And then I'm gonna get fulfillment from that. And then the next day I do it again and again and again. And now sometimes I still have these creeping thoughts of like, oh, let's fully distract myself or, go into like destructive behavior. But because this evidence is so stacked up high, of every day doing tough shit like I did when I was younger, Yeah, I was looking for the English word for daadkracht, but let's say determination. It builds up this determination to know, if I want to execute an idea or want to do this routine, I know I can actually do it because I've been building up the evidence. And that evidence is building up momentum. And then you can start building on that momentum. Like that train is already riding, it's already going. So it's easy to stuff some extra luggage in there, or bring an extra person because it's already going. It's easier to just go into that flow. And I really call that like the sort of doing energy, the executing energy. And I think why I'm so like, whoa, this is crazy, is because for years it was hard for me to push or put myself into that doing energy. I would always just take a little step back and be extra careful. And now I'm realizing why I didn't have that before when I was younger is because I was already in that momentum of just constantly doing hard shit. If you've dropped this collection and did this fashion show and then did this music video with all this promotion, then if you have an idea after that, if I want to make an EP or want to do a crazy trip or this or that, that train is already moving, So if you're in a phase right now where when you're not really in that doing energy and you want to get into that doing energy, first find some accountability. Ring up your best friend. Say like, yo, I'm going to do this for a month. There need to be consequences. Whoopity whoop. And then start doing it. Start small. And you're going to build up this evidence of also just an identity. Like I am a person that shows up every day. I do stuff that is hard but fulfilling, etc., etc. And then you're gonna be able to start building upon that momentum. And I'm telling you, it's the biggest form of self love because all great things also come with a great price. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's more so like it's the reward you get for also facing the tough components. Like life is, there's constant duality, you know? So with all great things, it also comes great responsibility and great hurdles and all that stuff. So if you want the great things, you also need to want the difficult things that come with it. So that's why it's such a form of self-love, because it's going to bring this huge fulfillment. Like, bro, I get so much fulfillment from just every day showing up to the studio. My craft is expanding, is being worked on, is elevating. And that's just by showing up, you know, even when it's a little bit tough. And it builds character, bro. It builds character. We're in such a comfortable world right now where there's dopamine all around. It's almost not even cool to like really try and put in effort and all that stuff, and we need more of that. So yeah, at this point I'm just rambling, but go after it. There's a really beautiful rose here, and let me show y'all the whiteboard. Yeah, also get yourself a freaking whiteboard and write down all the fucking shit that you're gonna do. Yup.